Hi everyone, I've come on today to address a video that I made a couple of years ago that went viral. I've pinned it at the top of the page. It's called Narcissist Demon. And I'm still getting a lot of comments on that video, and I wanted to come on and address some of them and hopefully give you some solutions, because I can see the desperation in people still. This whole issue of narcissism is getting worse, and there's a lot of confusion about what it is and why people aren't healing. So I'm going to give you my understanding and some of my own experience of how, what I do to try and heal these things. So with that video, I basically said that the narcissist, I was basically saying to people, stop blaming the narcissist, because he or she is basically taken over by a demon. And I want to go in depth about how that happens. So first of all, demons have to have a way of getting into our body. And I have done videos on basically how to protect your energetic field and things like that. But let's talk about the physical side of how they get in. So there's a lot of videos out, and I watched an amazing one recently by a YouTube channel called Understanding Conspiracies, and they do a great video on parasites and demons. Because parasites are the physical way for them to get into the body. And I'm talking about things like ringworm, hookworm, tapeworm, all of these things that reside in our bodies. And I see people are addressing now the energetic side of things, but they're not addressing the parasites within the body, or they're doing parasites in the body and they're not doing the energetic or the spiritual side of things. So I want to bring them together for you and give you some understanding. So with a narcissist, he or she has a demonic force that is working through him or her. And a lot of the ways these demonic forces can be in the body is because of parasites. And there's a lot of, even different cultures talk about parasites. In Taoism, they talk about the 3 worms and how their job is to basically make the host miserable and hasten the death of the host. Even in the Bible, they talk about Beelzebub being the lord of the flies. And of course, flies bring all sorts of parasites into the body as well, humans and animals. And so there's a lot of cultures that talk about the parasites, and some of them they'll go into the whole demonic side of it as well. So this is what you need to start studying, guys, if you want to understand narcissism, because a lot of the time we talk about the narcissist having trauma, and it's through that trauma the soul has taken a back seat or left the body, however you want to believe that, and it's the demonic force that is actually taking over. And that is true. But a lot of the times there are parasites in there that are allowing that to happen as well. And so what I'm trying to say to you is that in order to heal, you have to heal physically and emotionally and spiritually. It's all connected. So I see some people doing one or the other. We need all of them. So with the physical, you have to do parasite cleanses. Honestly, it should be, I used to do them 4 times a year. Now I'm doing them so much more, because the amount of parasites that are in our food and in the air and however else they're getting into us through the water or whatever, it is so important to keep that at bay, because they cause physical discomfort, but they're also going to cause mental discomfort as well. They will tell you what to eat. When I do cleanses with clients, the first thing they say to me is, I don't know if I can not eat. And I say, well, you're fine not eating. It's your parasites that are going to have a problem with it. But we're going to get rid of them. That's what we do. And it's amazing to see, after a couple of days of fasting and just having clean juices and parasite herbs, they're not hungry. So that's because the parasites have started to die off. So the physical side must be addressed, guys. And then you've got the energetic and emotional side. So I want to bring to you, this has come to me recently when I'm reading sort of the teachings of Jesus and trying to understand why he would say something like, forgive your enemies. Well, I think I got it. When it comes to understanding why, he didn't do that from a place of weakness. Forgive your enemies because you're pathetic and weak. No, forgive your enemies. That's a place of strength. And started to understand a big reason why. So when we interact with a narcissist, they have parasites, they have demonic energy that comes through the parasites. The parasites are like a Bluetooth for the demonic force. When we interact with a narcissist, especially if we're intimate, we then give permission for those parasites to come into our body and the demonic force behind those parasites to torment us and basically make our life hell. We actually consent through the interaction with a narcissist. Now, everything in this realm is contractual. So we have just given consent and contracted to these parasites, these demonic forces, to then interact with us. Now, if we continue, even after the breakup of the narcissist, we continue to feel angry towards them, to hate them. These are strong emotions and strong energy. Well, guess what we're doing? We're feeding the parasite. That's why you find it hard to get the narcissist out of your head, because every time you interact with those energies, emotions or energy in motion, you're giving fuel to the parasite. And so that's just continuing. That's why it's so hard to go over, because you're literally continuing to feed them. So how do you stop that interaction? You have to forgive the narcissist, because if you forgive, and this is where I get what Jesus is talking about now, if you forgive the narcissist, it's not him anyway. Like, he's a victim as well, or she. I know you can get females, most of mine have been males, of course. They are also victims to the parasites and the demonic forces. And so the empath and narcissist, both victims. And this constant energy that goes between is feeding the parasite. How to stop it is to forgive the narcissist, understand it's not their fault. I know they do awful things, but remember, they're being controlled by the demonic forces. So forgive the narcissist, the person, they're suffering, and then you have to get rid of the attachment or the legal rights to the demonic forces. There's a guy on TikTok that's written a book that can help this. I can't remember his name. I'll find it out and put it in the comments. But he nails it. He absolutely nails it. And another guy I've read, Jerry Macinski, talks about how when he was interviewing schizophrenics, he started to address the voices of the schizophrenics and found out that they were demonic as well. And you know what they don't like? Those demonic voices did not like to hear Psalm 23. And so this is spiritual side of things, guys, that we need to bring in as well. And I know there's so much stuff about religion being controlling and everything like that, but there's a lot of truth in it as well, guys. And maybe they don't want us to know that as well. So I'm getting to the end of the video. And look, I'm happy to come on and do a live and answer your questions and give you some solutions. I know this is only 10 minutes, but I hope I've covered, you know, enough for you to get an understanding that the healing has to take place physically, parasite cleanse, emotionally, forgive the narcissist, spiritually, you've got to get rid of those demons, and that could be more of a spiritual thing as well. So if you want me to come on and do a live, just put in the comments, please do a live, and then I'll work out times, because I'm in Australia. I know I've got a lot of followers in the UK, and this is a worldwide epidemic, this parasite, narcissistic, demonic force. And the only way we're going to get over it, guys, is to understand all components of the healing. Thanks for listening.